All right, so the market is looking a little bit more positive today, but not a significant gain in the market. Is it because of the MPC's announcement?
Well, I don't think so. If you look at the market before now, it has been on a bearish trend, and you will believe with me that the fundamentals of the market does not support the trend you have been seeing before now. And so what you see today is not really a reaction to the Monetary Policy Committee announcement. It is just probably a little correction from what has been. But I don't think that it will make any more difference to the market.
Do you think going forward, given that Nigeria is expected to grow near 8% and just some of the reforms that have taken place, that things are going to look better for the market?
Well, like I said, the market has been on a downward trend. It is not because the economy is weak or because the fundamentals of the quoted companies are not strong. It's just a reflection of what is happening within the global economy and the financial markets. And you agree with me that the activities in Nigerian market have been dominated by foreign investors. And as a result of what is happening in the global market and the volatility in the stock market all over the world, they are cashing out of the market. And that has been responsible for the bearish trend that you see in recent times.
Okay, so risk aversion is an issue that you're raising here. Let's talk about the decision by the Monetary Policy Committee to tighten further, rates coming in at 9.25%. That should help investors who are looking at Nigeria, particularly government securities, and what they see as management of issues like inflation, for instance, and debt in the market. Is that going to help boost sentiment going forward?
Well, on the capital market, I don't expect that will have any positive effect in the real sense of it, because what you discover is that when interest rates are increasing, investors will prefer to put their monies in fixed income instruments rather than on equity. And so what you will find for government securities and probably bonds, it may be positive, but for the equity market in particular, are likely to have a negative trend, because a negative effect, because the expectation will be that interest rates, even on deposit, in the near future will be going up, and therefore there is no point for anybody to want to invest more in the securities market when you expect fixed income instruments rate to go up.
Your reaction to the decision to raise interest rates by 50 basis points, do you think there was wisdom in that?
Again?
Your reaction to the decision by the MPC?
Well, it is a move to curb inflation. The focus is on stable price for now, both consumer price index and also foreign exchange rate. And to that extent, it is an effective instrument, I can say, for now. Like you see, in the last 2 months, the headline inflation has come down to a single digit. And they know that given the trend you see in the economy in terms of the expansionary fiscal policy of the government, recent upward revision in electricity tariff rates, and again the movement in possible reduction in subsidies on petroleum products, the inflation likely to go to double digits, and that is why they are taking a proactive measure to ensure that that does not happen.
The impact on the exchange rate, because that is a priority for Governor Sanusi, is to try to keep the Naira supported. But we are seeing the Naira above 157 even after this decision.
Well, it depends on how effective it is, like I said, on curbing liquidity in the system. Because what you see is that government expenses or expenditure in recent times have been on the increase, and that is seriously increasing liquidity. So to the extent that they can curb liquidity in the system, maybe they'll be able to curb fluctuations in exchange rates.
All right, let's talk about what's going on forward. We're in the middle of September. I think we've just got a week before the end. That's the deadline for the recapitalized banks. Your views on the process thus far, and whether or not everything will be as it should be come the 30th of September?
Well, also, again, we are still expecting the result of the extraordinary general meetings, of those meetings, how it will go. If it goes well, then it will mean that definitely the recapitalization of those banks will happen. and that will help to boost the strength of the banking industry as a whole, and therefore have positive impact on both the economy. Because once those banks are recapitalized, it will also increase their liquidity and their lending capacity. And that will boost the economy as a whole and have a positive impact on both the economy and the market.
Do you anticipate any problems going forward coming out of these extraordinary general meetings? I mean, we are getting good indications from the sale of Intercontinental, for instance, Oceanic, but we're not getting a lot more information in terms of the other rescued banks. We know others have been nationalized as well.
Well, all the banks are having their extraordinary general meetings in the next 1 or 2 weeks, all right, because the deadline for CBN recapitalization of those banks is the end of this month. And given what the central bank has done in terms of nationalizing some of the banks that did not meet the requirement for foreign investors, you may discover that shareholders will have no alternative than to approve the new investors, because that will mean that at least they will still have some interest in the banks rather than losing all their stake. And so I don't see anything going wrong with the recapitalization of those banks.